As you can see here, we have a slime in its natural habitat. You can tell it's a slime because of the way it is. Dude, what the heck? Who knocked my tripod over? Oh man, I've been waiting all day to get this shot. I have some plans for some mega projects in my hardcore world, and most of them require slime block flying machines. But you see, I don't have nearly enough slime blocks to make such a machine, and when you factor in that the nearest swamp is 6,000 blocks away, and that slimes only spawn occasionally at nighttime, that isn't really a viable option either. So that's why today I'm going to assert my dominance over these little creatures and build a fully automatic slime farm. Now theoretically, building a slime farm should be easy, because according to Nembon, slimes are technically speaking the dumbest mob in all of Minecraft. Basically, they just kind of move around randomly and exist with no real thoughts or purpose, kind of like you. But you know who's dumber than a slime? Me. Yeah, that's right, I'm dumber than these big green blobs because I recorded the first 10 hours of this video in non-HD. Honestly though, I haven't really figured out how I managed to mess this up, so after you finish roasting me in the comments, let me show you what I did. The first thing I had to do was figure out where I wanted to actually build this thing. If you didn't know, slimes only spawn in certain specific chunks in the world known as slime chunks. And using an external tool called chunk base, I was able to input my seed and find the coordinates of one of these chunks in the area I was looking for. I would have preferred to find two next to each other, but this would work okay. So I got to work digging a really big hole. How big was the hole? Bigger than the hole I left in your heart by not uploading for an entire month. It was the size of the slime chunk, plus an additional 4 blocks on each side, which would give the slimes enough room to yeet themselves off of the edge. Remember what I told you, they're really dumb. Anyways, it took me almost 2 whole hours just to get down to Y level 40, which is important because this is the first level that slimes can actually spawn. So you with your big brain are probably wondering, why would I dig out all of this if slimes actually can't spawn in this area? And that's because you can actually increase the spawn rates by having the platforms exposed to the surface. I promise I didn't make that up. 40 minutes later, I was tired of digging and just wanted to go home, but I was beginning to get into the groove when I encountered my first deep slate layer. This was a major problem. You see, mining deep slate is very slow and annoying to deal with, just like my girlfriend before 9 AM. So yeah, I needed a new plan, because if it took me 2 hours to get to this level, it would take me at least 8 hours to get to the bottom of the world like this. So I headed off to the desert, checked my mob farm for gunpowder, and realized I had no gunpowder, because why would I ever have what I need for a project? After 2 hours of vertically sucking mobs into the seal— oh wait, that's upside down. After 2 hours of AFK, I had almost 2 full shulker boxes of gunpowder. Not great, but not terrible. And after tearing up more of the Sahara Desert, I was able to craft almost 10 stacks of TNT. To start, I did a test by exploding 1 piece of TNT and discovered that it breaks a 3x3 area pretty consistently, which meant I could efficiently space out the TNT such that 1 full stack removes 3 layers of deep slate. And because I had 10 stacks, this would help me remove about 30 layers in total. It was a lot of fun, very satisfying, and a much needed change of pace from all the digging I was doing before. You know, I could have just made a TNT duper, but that would have felt a bit cheaty. I kind of prefer to use my TNT dupers for other things, like getting me unlimited wood. Oh yeah, I also almost died. So that was pretty cool, but I was out of gunpowder, which meant my boom boom days were actually over, and I had to resort back to mining all this by hand. Okay, actually what I did was convert the deep slate into moss using bone meal, then I could go through and instantly mine up everything with my hoe. And finally, after about 1 more hour, the massive hole was complete. Honestly, the fact that I recorded so much of the beginning segment with not HD footage, that's pretty embarrassing. I don't really know how I'm gonna salvage the footage, but I guess we'll leave that for future me to figure out. Sorry, but I'm back. The hole is dug. I'm feeling good. Let's go ahead and make this slime farm. First thing to do, we need to figure out where the center is now that we're at the bottom of the world. Okay, so it looks like right about here should be the center point. We'll go ahead and outline this. And then that leaves us with a 4x4 area, which we can put a dropper into. And then we'll fill this in with hoppers. All of the slime blocks are going to collect in these hoppers and go into this dropper, which eventually will shoot the items out into a water stream, but not right now. For right now, let's just go ahead and build up this very bottom layer of the farm. Oh, I'm out of stone. There we go, that should be better. Going through here, I set up a series of water streams to break the slime's fall, and then began placing an iron golem in the center, which would lure them all towards the middle. Okay, there we go. I think he's trapped now. He shouldn't be able to move. And as for you, this iron golem was inspired from Logical Geek Boy's slime farm tutorial, but I definitely made some tweaks with these water streams that is different from most designs that I've seen. Okay, now it's time to go ahead and start making the spawning platforms. I have an entire shulker box of oak slabs. Let's see how far this gets us here. Really? I literally I just started and you're already spawning down here. Oh my god. Okay, there's the first spawn layer done. Basically, these are all the size of the chunks, so the slimes will spawn here, and then they'll pathfind off of this down here into the killing area. You know, while I'm here, I might as well put in the campfires too, just in case slimes do spawn. I don't want them to be kind of having a chance to kill this iron golem. And then we'll simply go up 3 blocks and carry on the same process. There's the second layer done. And the third, number 4, number 5, layer number 6 is complete. And we're partway through layer number 7, but I'm all out of wood. Luckily I have this tree farm though. This thing is seriously awesome. It's so easy to use and gets me so much wood. Kinda loud though. So I've actually had my cactus farm turned off for a while. I just didn't really need to use it, but I think now is probably a good time to turn it back on. That's all I'm gonna say for now, but you'll see why I need that later. After some time spent at the tree farm gathering wood, I got to work building up the remainder of the spawn layers. And this is when I kind of realized how big this farm actually is. There's so many layers to this thing. But even with 18 layers complete, I'm only on Y level 4 and I have to go all the way up to Y level 40. So yeah, I still have a fair bit of work to do. This is like so many slabs. And just like that, 20 layers are officially done. This farm is something ridiculous, like 29 layers. I don't know, it's just absurd how tall this thing is. And I anticipate that with all these unlit caves nearby, the rates aren't going to be too good yet. And now that the spawn platforms are all complete, I want to figure out how to connect this farm into our base. And I chose the location I did for the slime farm because it's kind of over here near the tree farm actually. I guess it's kind of close, but also like kind of not close at the same time. Look it's working, it's working. Come on, buddy, you got this, you got this, you got this, you got this. Come on now. I know you want to. Okay. Okay, so there we go. We have connected up the base to the area near the slime farm. It's actually not as close as I thought it was, but I can't move it now. We'll just have to make do with the fact that it's that far away. But anyways, I want to go ahead now and tidy up this tunnel a little bit. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. It looks pretty natural, which is kind of the look that I'm going for with this. After even more time spent at the tree farm. Oh my god, I was here for less than 5 minutes and I have like 13 stacks. I love this farm. Chopping down some big spruce trees using this trick that I saw on TikTok. Nice. It was time to start decorating our tunnel. And I think you pretty much know the drill at this point. I went through with things like wood, spruce wood, moss blocks, and then detailed with some leaves and some glowberries. I'm just loving this style of build, but let me know if it's getting a little bit old for you guys. I can definitely change it up. I really need to light these caves up more. These are all mobs that are stopping slimes from spawning. There's still a ton of work to do with this farm, and I think the next thing I want to do is actually set up the storage so that I can collect items while I keep working. So actually, let's go ahead and like remove some of this area. It needs to be expanded more this way, I think. Now we'll go through here and make a bunch of this wood into chests. I don't know how many we'll need, but definitely a lot. Now we need some hoppers, and it's kind of nice. I can actually just kind of go through here and then fly on out of here all the way up to my base. Luckily, iron's not a problem anymore. 58 hoppers, that should be plenty. So let's start by finding out where we want to actually put the chest. I think right through here should be a good spot. And we'll fill in the backside with all the hoppers. And then continue to decorate. Wait, I can still open these, right? Okay, cool. I was worried about that. Okay, there we go. Oh no, you can see all of the stone from behind the chests. That's gonna bother me. There we go, like it never even happened. Where can a man like me find some kelp? Somebody kelp me, please. Okay, I'm done. Wait, where did my bed go? Where did my... What? And after having a couple mental breakdowns, I was ready to start working on the water collection system. Okay, so if we put ice here and make that into water, that should flow, okay? That should flow this way to cover all the hoppers. And now I just have to break the #1 rule of Minecraft and dig straight down. You know, I really should not be doing this, but I never claimed to be smart. Adult man loses hardcore world to drowning in a tunnel. Okay, I'm down here. I don't know which way to go. I think it's this way. I'm gonna follow my heart and just see where this takes me. Ooh, diamonds. Oh my god. And it literally lines up on a line. I could not have drawn this up any better. Honestly, I didn't even draw it up at all. It just kind of worked. All right, we'll do packed ice, bent skate, trapdoor, soul sand. We'll fill in the sides of these so the water can flow nice and straight. Put a piece of ice there and break that. Okay, we'll go back in with more packed ice, pressure plate, and more regular ice into water. And now we need the mechanism that recognizes when there's items in this dropper to spit them out into the water streams. We'll do a comparator like this, sticky piston right there, observer right here, and place an observer right here. So the next thing to do is to fly up here and see if it actually works. I don't see why the slime blocks wouldn't be making it into the chest. And not looking good so far. Oh, I forgot the kelp. Oh my goodness, I'm a fool. I am a fool. Oh no. Ah, yes, I forgot arguably the most important part of this whole thing. There we go. This should be a water elevator now. Yes, it is. Okay, there we go. Yes, it works. Let's go, baby. But even though the farm technically worked at this point, there was still a lot of work to do. Heading over to the Cactus Farm, which I luckily turned back on, tossing it into my smelters, I was ready to make a bunch of lime dye for lime wool and lime concrete. All right, sheepies, come over here. You're no longer purple. I'm sorry, your days of being purple are over. New hair, new you. Let's do this thing. So the first thing I want to do is actually fill in all these crevices with stone just to make my life easier while I build over here. Some good old-fashioned concrete ASMR. Oh, I'm drowning. What the heck? And after all that, I had 9 stacks of lime concrete and 5 stacks of lime wool. Well, I don't know how long this is gonna last, but we'll go ahead and see here. Going through, I wanted to add in random patches of the green coloring to add some depth and effect to this upper area. So admittedly, it's looking a little bit busy right now. But trust me, once I fill all this in with the green color, I think it'll look really good. But with that said, I am all out of green blocks. After clearing out more of the desert and totally decimating an entire ocean floor, I had a shulker box of gravel and sand, and after checking on my cactus farm one more time and collecting more wool from my sheep, I was ready to start filling in these holes. Okay, there's the first of the 4 sides totally filled in. Still looks a little bit weird, but it's not gonna look good until it's all the way done. Just trust me, okay? There's the second row done, even more wool, and of course, more concrete ASMR. All 4 layers are officially filled in. Going through with some deep slate bricks, I started filling in the area between the green splotches, making sure to set it in by a block to add some depth. And I was actually kind of nervous at this point because I hadn't actually tested this design yet, and I was purely going off of this image I had in my brain, but we know how that works sometimes. It was actually quite challenging to design something that both looked cool, but was also open to the surface so as not to sacrifice the spawn rates of the slime farm. So the first of the 4 walls is fully filled in, and I can already tell this is looking so good. I absolutely love the effect that this gives off. There's the second side all done. And finally, after over 20 stacks of deep slate, I had all of the walls filled in, and I loved how this turned out. And from there, I got to work designing an upper platform, because right now this whole thing just looked like a massive hole in the ground. And even though it literally is just a massive hole in the ground, I wanted it to blend in a little bit with the area. But finally, it was time to ask the question of how well does this farm actually work? So I boxed myself in for a 20-minute AFK session, and upon returning, I had just under 2 stacks of slime balls, which honestly was a little bit disappointing for a farm of this size. The reality is that the caves near my base were spawning way too many mobs other than slimes, which was severely impacting the spawn rates. So using a mod called Mini HUD, I set my AFK location as the center of a 128 block radius sphere extending out in all directions, and then set off to light up all the caves within this sphere. The numbers that you see in the ground are simply light level indicators, so I know how frequently to place a torch. Basically, if it's red, that means I need to put a torch and light it up. And if it bothers you that I'm using this mod to help me out, that sounds like more of a you problem than a me problem. Anyways, after an hour of lighting up cave after cave where I encountered some pretty weird things. What in the heck is going on here? How did I have so many questions. Like, how is this even a thing that's happening right now? I decided my time could be better spent making some improvements to the actual farm. First of which was to remove the upper spawn platform. Yeah, it turns out these deep slate walls that I made just kind of make it so the big guys can't even jump off the edge, so it's really pointless. And this last change is really weird. It's from NotNotBrock, so basically you place a layer of string on the outside edge of the uppermost spawn platform, and somehow this thing just like greatly improves spawn rates. I don't know how it works. Please don't ask me. But yeah, that's my slime farm. I hope you like it, and feel free to yell at me in the comments for not uploading for an entire month. Anyways, I will see you in July.